August 29th, 2022, and I'm going to be doing a hive inspection here. I'm hoping that in the first hive, I will be doing the steps to pull the honey super using the bee escape board. Yeah, we're at harvest time for this first hive. Let me just flip things around and show you what the frames are looking like in the honey super. So this is the first frame that I pulled out of the honey super. I've just got it resting here on this rack. But as you can see, it's pretty well 100% capped, and that's what both sides look like. So this is just really nice. Good clean wax, nice color on it, and the bees seem happy. So once I'm done looking into this first hive, I will definitely be putting the bee escape board on it. I've removed the honey super, and now I'm looking at the first hive body, the upper hive body on this first hive, and we'll just give her a peek, see how she's doing. You just saw a nice shot of a honey frame. This is just a gorgeous shot of a brood frame. I kind of brushed off some of the bees so they're a little agitated, but if you look up here, so this is how they do it. They put the honey up here in the corners, and then this is also honey. If you look down in there, you can see that it's going to eventually be honey. But then in the middle, they put their brood, and so this is all capped baby bees. Now here's a shot that's just going to completely obliterate YouTube's ability to render it. Like confetti falling out of the ceiling. But it's just beautiful in its own way. I've looked into both of these hive bodies. They seem to be doing well. Unfortunately, this one, I put those 4 frames, new frames, in quite a while ago, and they just have not drawn out any wax on them. So I'm gonna put it all back together, put the escape board on so I can take the super tomorrow. Time to put the bee escape board on. So thought I'd show you how that's done. It's really technical. First, I need to smoke these grills off. They are just, I don't want to have a whole ton of them up there when I put this on. I'd rather not squish them. Just give them a little smoke, and they retreat into the hive for the most part. Now it's time for the board. Sorry. So we just take it and lay it on like that on top of that upper body, and now I'll put the honey super on top. I won't be able to show that because I have to use both hands to do it. But any bees that are in the honey super now, over the next 24 hours, they'll eventually work their way through here. They go out through a little maze that they can't get back in through. And when I come back tomorrow, most if not all of the bees will be out of that honey super. So I completed looking at the first hive. Put the bee escape board on it, and we'll actually pull that super tomorrow. Now I've got to look into the second hive. This hive I'm worried about. I put a third hive body on a few weeks ago, and when I checked about 10 days ago, they hadn't done anything in it. So last time, 10 days ago or so, I scraped beeswax over the foundation in the hopes that that would kind of incentivize them to start building some wax there. So before we get into that hive body that I'm worried about, let's just take a peek at the honey super on this second hive. So far, haven't pulled any of these yet. I mean, I pulled one frame and it doesn't really have anything on it. But looks like the frame next to it might have quite a bit of capped honey, so maybe in a couple weeks I'll be pulling this one as well. All right, I pulled that second, or that adjacent frame, and you can see they've got about 50% of the frame covered in capped honey. And the other side looks pretty much the same. So now I have an easier shot down into the hive, and it looks like that may be the situation through the whole honey super. Let's just see if I can, I'm just gonna quickly see if I can peek behind this next frame, because if that's what it looks like in the middle, then yeah, it looks like I'm gonna be harvesting out of this hive in a couple weeks. Well, look at that. That's even more than 50%. Okay, well, this hive all of a sudden decided to actually start putting honey down. That's great. I am concerned about this hive. My little idea of scraping some wax on the foundation doesn't seem to have communicated to them that they can do the same. So, well, if the winter comes and they haven't done anything more with this, let's see, look, that's the middle frame, and it just looks exactly the same. It almost looks like they cleaned it of the honey that of the wax that I scraped on. So I'll keep an eye on it. If come, close up time, end of September, beginning of October, depending upon the weather, it looks like they have not done anything, I'll probably pull this third box, because otherwise they've just got this big empty space to heat, and I don't want them to be having to do that. Okay, I haven't looked deeply into this hive for quite a while. It looks like it's doing okay. So this is, you're looking at the fifth frame in, so it's kind of a middle frame, and you see they've got a good bunch of honey stored in the corners. Haven't seen a lot of brood yet, but these are some new frames that I put in quite a while ago, and thankfully they are, building some wax on them. They really haven't done anything with that wax that they've drawn out, but at least they're doing that. So let me just keep looking. Well, this second hive has a lot more honey in its brood boxes than the other hive does. So who knows, maybe if it's coming towards winter and it looks like that first hive doesn't have enough honey stores, if there's enough in here, I may draw some honey frames from here and put them in with that other hive. Because you can just see, it's hard for me to see on the screen right now, but they are just lots and lots and lots of honey. That frame is almost probably 75% honey. I'm finally into the bottom box of the second hive, and I've found the brood. It's not as compactly developed, but oh my gosh, look here. We have a bee being born. There we go. Do you see that? That's amazing. That's a bee being born. She's chewing her way out of her cell, chewing off the capping. Brand new bee there. Her name is Agatha, just as all of her sisters' names. our Agatha. Oh my. I find that wonderful. Just wonderful. Welcome to your busy, busy bee world. Seeing that bee come out of her cell is probably one of the coolest things I've seen for a long time. And it's a good thing that I took that video, because I brought it back in and showed my wife, said, hey, look, this is really cool. And as I was watching, I saw a little bee come into frame. And on her back was a big old varroa mite. I didn't see it when I was there because I was looking at other things, but watching the playback, lo and behold, there's the mite. So it's a good reminder I've got to get a mite treatment done, and I will be doing that in the next couple of weeks or so once the supers are all off of the hives, because you don't want to do that treatment with honey that you're going to harvest in the hive.